He said people died on the west side of the state, people died on the east side of the state, which really encompasses the width of Mississippi. We have guests coming up this hour. One of the women we will talk to describes her climbing into a bathtub 2 seconds before the storm hits. And those 2 seconds saved her life.
So many stories like that, husband and wives dying together in each other's arms. Just absolutely horrific to wake up to see this morning, and they'll be waking up to this for some time to come. So
those images are there, and we will be on this story throughout the day and longer. Meanwhile, 6 minutes past the hour, Sandra.
And the border crisis taking a deadly turn with 2 incidents in just 24 hours. Officials say they found one person dead in a Texas rail yard over the weekend. They suspect human smugglers locked a group of migrants inside a cargo train. That just a day after 2 migrants died inside crammed rail cars not far from the border. Alexis McAdams, she's live there in Mission, Texas. She's been reporting throughout the weekend from there. Alexis, what is the very latest on the ground?
Hi, Sandra. Yeah, we're talking about those 2 deadly human smuggling incidents that happened just hours apart there in Eagle Pass, Texas. If you're looking at the screen right now, you can see there on that side of me, that's a close look and a live look at our drone team that they're seeing right now in Eagle Pass, Texas. That's the rail yard where both these incidents are stemming from at this point. We're told that these cartel members put these migrants on those train cars and locked them inside, hoping they could get into further parts of the United States. It was about 100 degrees, Sandra, over the weekend, and even hotter in those cars. They couldn't breathe and they could not get out. Take a look at these photos. This is a little bit closer to at what we saw over the weekend. Some of those pictures from the fire department there at the latest incident there that happened on Saturday afternoon. One migrant from Mexico found dead inside of that boxcar near Eagle Pass, Texas. 11 others were also on board, either hospitalized or detained. Just hours earlier, 17 migrants were found trapped inside of this shipping container after someone called 911 saying that several migrants were suffocating in that train in Uvalde County, Texas. Horrible cases here. In that case, at least 2 migrants from the Honduras have died and more than a dozen others needed medical treatment. Sources tell us the migrants boarded that train to be smuggled into different parts of Texas. The cartels do this on a daily basis.
The fact is that Mayorkas, President Biden, they're not taking this border security situation seriously. And unfortunately, these are the things that happen every day. People are being smuggled in the back of tractor trailers, being treated in harsh conditions, and it shouldn't be happening.
No surprise, another busy weekend out here. Our Fox drone team capturing this group of 50 migrants crossing into South Texas there. Just a few of the more than 40,000 migrants who crossed into the U.S. at the southern border in just 1 week. In Florida, 2 migrants flew from Cuba to the U.S. on these hang gliders. This is a different thing we haven't seen too much of. That duo landed at a Florida airport to only be taken into custody by Border Patrol. Back out here live in Mission, Texas, migrants finding different ways to get smuggled into the United States, giving the cartels all the money they have, and the cartels don't care if they show up to the U.S. alive or dead. Now, one more thing to mention here, Sandra. The night that these migrants died on Friday night, the President of the United States was in Canada talking about securing the northern border. People I talked to here in Texas say you should focus on the southern border first. Sandra.
A lot of that last week. Alexis, thank you very much. We will have more on the alarming rise in this deadly human smuggling at the southern border with former Mexican President Vicente Fox right here on America's Newsroom. That's coming up next hour.
So he's got a lot to say, too, so stand by for that. Meanwhile, here in New York, a grand jury meets again today as it weighs a potential indictment against the former president, Donald Trump. House Republicans calling out the Manhattan DA, Alvin Bragg, for his refusal to testify about the investigation. Andy McCarthy wrote about it over the weekend, former assistant U.S. attorney. Andy, good morning to you. Saw your piece. Here's your headline. Alvin Bragg should suspend his Trump pursuit. You say Bragg should stay in his lane. I guess to simply interpret your piece, you're saying this is a misdemeanor that he wants to elevate to a felony. Can he do it, or will he?
Yeah, and the reason, Bill, that he needs to stay in his lane is the only way he can make it a felony is by invoking federal law that he doesn't have any jurisdiction over. So while I think he's quite right to make the point that the federal Congress doesn't have any oversight authority over him and that he should object to trying